welcome to Lady Audaci-TEA. I am Meredith, and today we have a special little treat for you. We just dropped our first premium content episode over on Patreon and Apple subscriptions. This is where we are going to be doing our deep dives. You'll get an extra episode every month and other fun perks. This first deep dive is about none other than Princess Margaret. And since we are doing an Eras Tour style series, her song is Lavender Haze. Here's a little sneak peek of the episode. If you want to subscribe, again, just go to patreon.com/LadyAudaci-TEA or hit subscribe in Apple Podcasts for premium content. Enjoy. But enough of James Kennedy for another time. We are talking today about Princess Margaret, the younger sister to Queen Elizabeth II, and her theme is Lavender Haze. And I picked Lavender Haze specifically for this lyric. I'm damned if I do give a damn what people say. Never in her wildest dreams. I promise that's the last time I'm going to do this in the script. There will be no, I can't do that every time. I promise.
More, no.
Putting away Tay-Tay for now. So, never in her wildest dreams did Princess Margaret think she would one day be the younger sister to the Queen of the UK and the Commonwealth. But that's where the petite, blonde as a child, blue-eyed Margaret found herself when her uncle Edward VIII abruptly abdicated the throne to marry his love. So I've seen Margaret and Elizabeth described as chalk and cheese, but from what I can tell, they seem to have, I know, isn't that a disgusting analogy? Ew.
Jesus.
I hate the feel of chalk in my hands. It's my least, I literally get, I have like a sensory thing. Ugh.
Yeah, it's,
Ooh, and cheese. Okay, anyway. She also felt that she could never quite compare to the Queen. She told a confidant that, I guess I'll always be second best to my grave. It's giving Living in the Shadows by Ashley Simpson. That's what it's giving. Do you remember that song? Are you too young for that?
Oh my, no, I watched that show, both of her albums. Oh,
sick.
Yeah.
But she wasn't Jessica. You know what I mean? She wasn't Jessica.
No, and I mean, I feel like, again, coming off the Kate episode, what I have learned that, unfortunately, in this world, it's just smart to play into the stereotype you are given.
Margaret was snatched, and I am not apologizing for saying that. Holy
She had a ways. Well, you all know how I feel about the Queen. Queen had body, yaddy, okay? But so did Margaret.
Her one true love was really her father. And I don't think we talk enough about that, but we're going to get more into that later. And I think understanding the love she had for her father and the impact of losing him at such a young age really kind of informs her love life. So let's get into it. And first of all, we're getting into Group Captain Peter Townsend. Okay. So listen, this is the last Taylor Swift quote, I promise.
Let me look him up real quick too, so I can rate
No.
him.
No. I'm going to send you a photo. Don't even look it up.
Oh, okay.
We're going to talk about this in real time. So, when you're 17 and somebody tells you they love you, except they're 33 and married with kids and they work for your dad. So yeah, let's get into the Peter Townsend of it all. Now, first of all, Alex, as you so smartly brought up, you wanted to see a picture of him. Are you ready? I am about to send you the photo. 1 second. I just pressed send. I'm going to say it's giving English daddy. It's just giving English daddy. It's
oh yeah.
Are you seeing that cable knit sweater? Are you seeing the ruffled brown hair, the jawline, the nose, the little furrow between his brow? This is a zaddy. He's
It's giving Chris Evans with less muscle mass. And I mean that in
is Chris Evans
ways.
The one? No, he's the one we like, right?
Yeah, he's the one who also wears cable knit sweaters a lot. And he's from like Massachusetts.
Oh, then I obviously love him.
He's our Boston boy.
Yeah. Pack the cat. So back to Peter. Yeah, he's hot. So
very much so.
Can I tell you though the hill that I will die on?
What?
I don't think Peter Townsend was the great love of Margaret's life. I think perhaps there was infatuation or lust, but I think he was somewhat predatory and took advantage of a young, sheltered princess.
How old was he?
He at the time was 33 or 35, but we're going to get more into it. I'm going to set that is my hill I will die on. Now I'm going to explain why, okay? Before everyone
Mhm.
gets mad at me, because if you watch The Crown or read any articles around that time, you are convinced that Queen Elizabeth like basically built a barricade and did not allow Princess Margaret to marry her love. But it's not true, I don't think. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I wanna hear, because yeah, that's always been the story.
Oh, yeah, here we go. So, a lot of this is from a Harper's Bazaar piece, which I will link to in the show notes, which will all be up there, everything that I've talked about. So, their meet cute or something happens in 1947 when Captain Pete Townsend, a royal equerry to King George VI, is tasked with protecting the king's youngest daughter during a 3-month trip to South Africa.
Oh
The two
gosh.
natural, oh, yeah. The
Oh
two
gosh.
vacation bang. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Allegedly, but, like, oh my god, don't sue me. Okay. The two naturally spent a lot of time together, and Princess Margaret is quoted as saying in later years to a confidant, "We rode together every morning in that wonderful country in marvelous weather. That's when I really fell in love with him." So again, she is 17, he is like 33-ish. So we have a bit of an age gap.
And well, and my thing is too, this almost in a way reminds me of Diana and one of her bodyguards. You know, these very young women, these like older men, they're all impressionable, that their bodyguards or have to be around them 24/7, and what happens? It's
Yeah,
just like,
and what's interesting
ugh.
is it's not the power and balance isn't the same, right? Because you're dealing with like the princess is a higher rank than her bodyguard. But at the same token, princesses like Margaret, like Diana are so sheltered and so
Oh,
naive
yes.
that there really is kind of like almost this grooming quality. And it may
Oh,
be looking at
totally.
it too much through like a Me Too 2023 lens, but it's still something feels like very icky about it. And the desire to paint this as love between a 17-year-old and a 33-year-old married man is like,
Oh, no.
eh,
Wait, I thought she was 17. Okay, see, no. This is not the Me Too lens. This is the fact that our society is just so used to predatory behavior and that we have normalized it. You know, I've said the same thing about Queen Elizabeth and Philip. I think it's very weird that a 13-year-old girl was like having correspondence with this like 19-year-old guy or whatever. That's weird. That's like a 19-year-old boy texting your 13-year-old daughter. Absolutely
yeah,
not.
it's not great.
Absolutely not.
And
And that's
there
what I'm
are
saying. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. No, and there are some potential evidence that maybe they even started kind of falling for each other when she was younger, but I don't think the evidence is as solid on that point, but still, she is a child.
She's a child, and the fact that he started being in close quarters with her as she was a child is just so
Ugh.
uncomfortable, and it's not, and this is what I'm saying, it's like you said, she's a princess, technically she has higher rank than him, but she's a young girl, she's very sheltered, and I think we all know damn well too, especially in the 50s, that this man has more power. I'm sure if he went to her father and said, "I think Margaret's having issues, you should get her help," he would more likely listen to him than his own daughter.
That's a good point.
Like, the power play here is still that he's going to have more power than little Margaret, because that's all she
That's a
is
very
in
good
many
point.
ways. She's just like a beautiful face for them to tote around and say, "This is why you should keep us." Like, this is a man and he's an older man. He knows better. Yeah, like, it's just breeding this kind of really disgusting relationships that are absolutely not acceptable.
That
Like,
is
they're
an
just not
incredible point.
acceptable.
No, you're right, you're right, and so, speaking of his actual marriage, in
Oh
November
gosh.
of 1952, Peter Townsend divorces his wife, Rosemary Pratt, the Marchioness of Camden, to commit to Princess Margaret. So
Jeez.
yeah, so recall, it is February of 1952 when King George VI dies after a lung operation, and Elizabeth becomes queen. So Peter stays on as the Queen's royal equerry from 1952 to 1953. Moving on to April 1953. So remember, we are about 2 months before the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. Peter Townsend proposes to Margaret, and even Danielle of Summer House doesn't know and isn't invited. Sorry.
That was no,
So
please,
rude.
please.
So rude.
Danielle is raging.
There's one little problem, just a little problem. There's a little thing called the 1772 Royal Marriages Act, which required that the monarch approve the marriage if the royal was under the age of 25, which Margaret was, and approval from Parliament as well. So
Oof,
Margaret, yeah, oh yeah, Margaret famously does not receive approval from the queen, and despite the
thank
fact that
God.
the couple actually had a lot of public support, which is surprising to me. But even
I'm
Winston
not
Churchill,
shocked.
yeah, even Winston Churchill, who was the prime minister at the time, said it was unlikely his cabinet would approve the marriage. So the two decided to wait and just remain engaged, keep it a secret, wait till she's 25. But that is blown the hell up at the Queen's coronation in June of 1953. And it's all because of one little mistake. Princess Margaret is seen by a reporter brushing lint off of Peter Townsend's shirt in a
Ooh.
way that was too familiar, darling, because nothing says romance like picking lint like a little chimpanzee off another person. We hope you enjoyed that sneak peek of our first premium content episode. If you want to listen to the entire episode, it is up on patreon.com/Lady Audacity or on Apple subscriptions. Until next time, pinkies up.